What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Zoro versus Sanji, right? And we're going to be talking about who is stronger between the two, right? And I know you guys may be thinking in your head who's stronger, but keep that idea in the back of your mind because today I'm going to break it down into 5 categories to see who is stronger. So sit back, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe for more One Piece content, anime content in general, right? So the 5 categories we got today: strength, speed, durability, endurance, and hockey, right? First up, we got strength. So for strength, we may be jumping the gun to say Zoro is physically stronger than Sanji. We know Zoro is strong enough to swing a sword, cut mountains, stuff of that nature, but Sanji in pre-time skip was depicted as close to Zoro in strength. Post-time skip is true Zoro may be overall stronger, but with Sanji's upgrades, we know he's going to increase in all stats besides hockey. When he was younger, his little sister broke him out of a jail cell with her bare hands because of her super strength, and all of his siblings have super strength, enhanced strength, right? Because of their exoskeletons. So Sanji is a lot stronger now, and he was able to kick Queen all the way out of Onigashima, who was 612 centimeters tall, almost as tall as Kaido at 710 centimeters, right? So for One Piece standards, he basically just kicked the giant out of the island, right? And, you know, he kicked him ridiculously far, by the way. However, Zoro is always training and getting stronger, so we can easily assume he's physically stronger than Sanji as the story progresses, which is why I give this category to Zoro. Zoro gets a 9.5 out of 10, Sanji gets an 8, but I don't think they are that far off in strength. Next up, we have speed. I think without a doubt, it's Sanji. You know, although Zoro is not slow, let's make that clear, but for Sanji, his speed feats are up there with Luffy's, even in Whole Cake. We saw him literally dodging raindrops. He even dodges Queen's light beams multiple times. You know, we have reason to believe that those light beams might be on par with the Pacifista because Queen used to work with Vegapunk on Mads, which was in the past, so we know that he worked closely with Vegapunk and they are, you know, relative in terms of brain power. So that could mean that Queen could have really good tech in terms of light beams. But yeah, even though dodging light was something I think all the Starts were already capable of, because I'm pretty sure they were all dodging light beams from Pacifistas, but I think it's just being set up for Kizaru, who's probably the fastest in the show, and I think that Sanji's being set up to beat him, which is why his speed is being highlighted so much, right? We even had him vanishing right in front of Queen's face, which was just like, I don't even know where he gets off doing that. That man is disrespectful, just vanished in his face. And Queen specifically said that he is literally moving too fast for him to see. So this dude is just insanely fast right now, right? We also saw him in Whole Cake when he kicked Oven, saved Lola, and brought her aboard the ship in the blink of an eye, so fast that only Pudding could see what was happening because she already knew what was going on. Nobody else could perceive it. Nobody else knew what was happening, right? So I think for this category, we can all agree it does go to Sanji. However, I want to make it clear Zoro's reaction speed and attack speed might be relative because he can attack and react to people who are faster than him. We know this from King the Wildfire, who was really faster than Zoro and had him on the ropes until Zoro, like, honestly started letting him hit attacks on himself just so that he could get an opening for his own attacks. And for Kaido, we saw him rush Kaido with Ashura in his face. You know what I mean? He blitzed Kaido with Ashura, like, in his face. So sometimes Zoro can be fat. Like, his base speed may not be as fast as Sanji, but his attack speed and reaction speed are relative. But overall, Sanji is faster. So this category is going to Sanji. Sanji with a 9.5 out of 10. Zoro gets an 8 out of 10. Now we can talk durability, which is going to be separate from endurance. To put it simply, endurance is more like, for example, Marco. He is not as durable as Kaido, but he has a great endurance because he can heal himself after taking a lot of damage. Kaido is an example for durability because you need Ryo, Conqueror's Coding, or Internal Destruction, or Eternal type of attacks to even damage Kaido. You need it. You can't, like, your external attacks are not going to do anything to Kaido unless you have Conqueror's Coding. So that's an example of durability, right? So for durability, Zoro is very durable and can withstand very powerful attacks, but if we're being honest, his specialty lies in his endurance. The first instance we see this is in Thriller Bark when nothing happened. He endured all the pain Luffy had and still stood tall. So when it comes to natural durability, he isn't much different from the other Supernova. He's not bulletproof, and we've seen a non-hockey coated blade go through his chest. And, you know, Sanji is both bulletproof to an extent and swordproof to an extent. Obviously, with hockey coated on them, they can probably hurt Sanji, but regular bullets, regular swords are not effective on Sanji anymore. So when it comes to raw durability, he is more durable than Zoro, right? And we haven't even seen Sanji's limits yet because he beat Queen fairly easily. We haven't seen something that can really test his durability all the way, right? We have that Queen snake thing, but honestly, it just broke his bones. So I guess that might be one of the limits. Like, his bones can be broken, but he snaps them back together like easily, which is a little bit more of endurance, which is going to get into the next category. But for durability, Sanji gets a 9 out of 10. Zoro gets an 8 out of 10, right? So for endurance, I know what you're thinking. Nothing happened. I'm going to get to that, right? For the endurance category, this is something I think we can all agree this should go to Zoro, the man who might literally be on the brink of death right now. With Sanji's new abilities, we know he is tough like his brothers and can regenerate, or I guess snap his bones back together, whatever you want to call it. But this is something Zoro shines at. He kind of excels at fighting when he's injured. Back in Arlong Park, Arlong was shocked that Zoro was fighting him and Hachi with such horrible injuries. This is just one example. Of course, we have the time nothing happened. We have the time in Wano where he literally got impaled through the chest, tanked it, gave us a menacing smile, and then proceeded to clap Killer. Respect to Killer though, because my man ain't a runner. He stood his ground. He just got packed up though. You know, this dude Zoro blocked the strongest attack we've seen so far for a couple seconds, broke 30 to 40 bones, and proceeded to blitz hybrid Kaido later during that fight with Ashura and scarred him. This man Zoro turns into a glass cannon when he's low on HP. Sanji also has insane endurance now as well, but Zoro seems to be out of the ordinary. Zoro gets a 9 out of 10, Sanji gets an 8 out of 10. Finally, for the category you all been waiting for, Haki, and this is the category I think that really sets them apart. While Sanji's more skilled in observation Haki than Zoro, he's inferior to Zoro in armament Haki and conquerors Haki. For observation Haki, Sanji has feats like dodging Katakuri's Jelly Bean after already being predicted to dodge it. He has Luffy crediting his observation to be even better than his, at least his base observation, right? So and Oda specifically said that Luffy's specialty is conquerors, Zoro's is armament, and Sanji's is observation, right? So Sanji might have much better observation Haki than Zoro, but when we're talking about observation Haki, it's not going to be that effective against someone like Zoro who is not slow. He may be slower than Sanji, but he's not going to be that slow, so it's not going to be super effective on Zoro. It's going to be very effective because he's going to be able to perceive a lot of Zoro's attacks, but it's not going to be ridiculously effective on Zoro, right? Now we get to armament Haki. Not only is Zoro better at it than Sanji, he specializes in it. He also used swords, which we know is harder to coat than coating yourself. In armament Haki, it's a little extra step, not that difficult, but it is part of being a swordsman, and it does mean you have to train your armament Haki a lot more than regular fighters like Sanji, right? And another thing is Conqueror's Haki. Sanji does not possess it. Zoro has great Conqueror's Haki. He's now among the strongest of the strongest in terms of Conqueror's Haki. That's what Kaido specifically said, talking about Conqueror's coding. This is not all that makes it important. Mihawk also talked to Zoro about black blades, and we know Zoro can turn them black for a short period of time while he fights with armament Haki. But why do Ryuma and Mihawk have black blades? What was it? And if Ryuma was a sword god, Mihawk's the strongest swordsman in the world, it would make sense that they had Conqueror's Haki. Possibly because of Conqueror's coding is why their blades turn black. That's just my headcanon though. It has sort of been implied that Conqueror's coding is going to be involved in the manga. But either way, with Zoro not only knowing Ryo, he now has Conqueror's coding. His attack power is among the strongest in the world. It's really up there like with the Yonko because using Conqueror's coding, he literally scarred Kaido, bro. And now he has even more control of it than when he fought Kaido. So he before with Kaido, he could only use it with Ashura subconsciously, but now he can control it. So it's going to be a lot stronger, a lot more potent, right? So I think Sanji falls short in the world of pirates that are trying to conquer the seas because Zoro is a conqueror, and that is his goal. His goal is to be the strongest swordsman. His goal is to get stronger. Sanji's goal isn't really to get stronger. It's one of his priorities because he has to protect his crew, but it's not his goal. His goal is to find the all blue, to be a good cook. Sanji doesn't even use his whole body to fight because he's so devoted to cooking. So that's the difference in the characters, and that's why Zoro will always be on top, right? So I think that they are not as far off as people try and make it seem. However, Zoro would be the winner. Now, for the final category of Haki, Zoro gets a 9.5, Sanji with an 8. And if you've made it this far in the video, you probably have not been counting the scores, but the final scores are Sanji with a 42.5 and Zoro with the 44. I do believe Zoro to be stronger, but mainly because of his haki, you know. And if Zoro didn't get the coding buff, this would be a different conversation. It would have been a little closer in my opinion, but that's my opinion. I want to hear what y'all think. Drop a comment and let me know if you want me to talk about any other characters in One Piece, and let me know what other type of videos you guys are going to want to see. So yeah, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.